That's it. Everybody sing. Yes, God. Make God's heart happy. Say He is. Make God's heart happy. And declare today He is. He is God. He is. Give God praise when He was in the room. Give God praise. Give God praise. Give God praise.
The radio station you can't live without. This is your radio.
Hi, this is Anena. Join me every Monday at 7 p.m. for Faith Matters. Faith Matters is where we reflect and share on our daily Christian walk. I look forward to sharing with you on Mondays at 7 p.m. God bless.
The dawn of a new age.
Future without boundaries.
Without boundaries. A future
where everything is possible.
Without limits. Full of love and wonder. So, explore reality. Revoke your limits. Exceed your potential. The future is here.
New Season Worship Center, located at 4660 North University Drive. Welcome to a brighter future.
Good evening, good evening, good evening, New Season. How are we doing? How are we doing? We are here. We are alive. We are well. We're excited. We're excited because it's Thursday. It is Thursday. And I'm sure so many of you are happy that I am back as I am. I am back from vacation. It was a good vacation. It was a good time of rest. It was good. Getting back in the zone of things, getting back in the zone of work, of church, of New Season, of radio, everything. It's going to be awesome. So I'm looking forward to just getting back to my norm. Good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining. Mark, I see you. Good evening, Mark. All the way up from North Florida somewhere. Good evening. Nice to see you. Maggie, I know she missed me. Sister Mina, missed me driving her crazy. Good evening, Rev. Good evening. Thanks for joining. And Sister Joylette, I see you, Sister Joylette. Thank you for joining as well. Guys, do me a favor. Wobble's back. By now, everybody knows my nickname. One of my nicknames anyway. Wobble. But it's okay. I accept. I allow. But I'm excited. I love being here with you guys on a Thursday evening, and I definitely missed it. I think I just missed a week. I'm being dramatic, but I love it. I love it. Like and share, guys. Like, share, and invite as we work to inspire you, to educate you, to inform you, to just do everything that we can. Work together to make one another a better human, a better person, a more like Christ person, a Christ follower, and it's really rewarding. It's amazing. And one of the things, if nothing at all, that I learned these past few days being away is that you never know what you have. You don't truly value what you have until it's no longer there. You don't truly value the people until they're no longer there, or, just easily accessible, or, just everybody is a phone call away. But it's just so different to be in another area code in a whole nother world and not in your zone. And, and so I'm really happy to be back. But it was definitely a time of rest, of mandatory rest, which unless you give me mandatory rest, it ain't happening. So I was good. I was good. But yeah, you don't really realize what you have until it's no longer accessible. You don't realize that your time is now. And that's what I want to talk to you guys about tonight. Your time is now. All of your time, every second, every minute, your time is now. And I know for me, I don't feel like I value that until this point. I don't feel like I really realize that my time is now. And literally, life will, and life does change in a matter of a second. Literally and figuratively, life does change in a matter of a second, half a second at that, immediately. And so because life changes so rapidly, so consistently, then we have to make it a point to do this, to be as consistent and live life to the fullest. And I don't want to say rapidly, because there's no joy in that, but we do have to make it a point to live our life the best that we can, the best that we can, the best that we know how. And as I was preparing, and just different things were going through my mind in this, at this time, preparing for the show. God uses everything and doesn't skip anything. God literally uses everything that we have, everything that he gives to us, because everything that we have, everything that we feel, he gives to us. So he literally uses everything and doesn't skip anything. And so what are we doing with what we are given? And many times we want to skip the process because we live in a world of perfection, fake, materialistic, a very materialistic world, a very fast-paced world that doesn't, or maybe that's a question. Living in this world as humans, do we really value and do we really understand what we have? To what point do we get to that fake materialistic mindset, that fast-paced mindset? We have to live fast-paced. We have to always be working. We always have to be doing something, because if I don't, or I'm not doing that, then I'm not being productive. I'm not living a fulfilling life. When do we get to the point where we no longer think like that? And we don't want to be vulnerable, right? We don't want to be vulnerable. We have an attitude of defensiveness, of, don't mess with me. I know I did, and that's where my joke came with, I'll trip people by accident on purpose with my cane, because it was clearly no longer, but it was a defense mechanism. Don't talk to me, don't look at me, don't smile at me, I ain't got time for that, leave me alone. Not because the other person had any ill intentions, but because just in case there was any ill intentions, or just in case I wasn't going to make it, I'm not even going to try, I'm not even going to talk to you, I'm not even going to make the attempt in accomplishing whatever it is I wanted to accomplish, because I was assuming that I was already going to fail. I was assuming I was already not going to make it. And so we live with that sense of defense mechanism, because we don't want to get hurt and we don't want to fail. And we act, it's a way of acting too, with our attitude. And so we don't realize that we hurt so many people around us by doing that. It took me to realize, Earth to Yesse, the world is not against you. Earth to Yesse, nobody really, a lot of people do accept you for who you are and how you are, and because of whose you are. No, a lot of people really don't see your disability when you come in front of them. And I hear that so much. I don't see your disability. Like, to be honest, I don't see it unless you mention it, or unless you maybe start walking. And so that's because I'm no longer living with my disability at hand. I'm not using that. I don't want to. I never have. I never will use that as a tool. I'll never use that as a defense mechanism. I'll never use that for pity. And so a lot of times we use what happened to us, or what so-and-so did to us, as something for pity, or I'm like this because. We're like this because we choose to be. I'm the way I am because I choose to be. I was the way I am because I chose to be that way until you, it's like kind of saying when you know better, do better. When you know better, you do better. And that's the idea. You know, when we're learning, when we're in the Word, when we're Christ followers, when we're in community, you start to learn better. You start to know better. You start to do better. And so that's what I hope and to continue to do is do better as I continue to know better. And that's what I would pray for everybody, including individuals, people in my family. You know, once you know better, continue and start to do better. If you don't, that's a problem. That's a problem we don't want to get into. So we don't realize that what we've been through allows us to carry it all. So what we've been through gives us so much strength, has built us so much in order to carry whatever it is that we're going through. And is what we're carrying truly that difficult or that unbearable? You know, and in reality, when we think about it, no, it's not, because you've been trained, you have been trained, and you have worked hard throughout your life to be able to endure and to carry what we are carrying. And so that's something that I learned the past couple days as well. And that's a whole nother conversation in a different show. But we don't realize everything we've been through and that it allows us to carry it all. And maybe you can't change your circumstances, but it can definitely change you. And we have to be careful with that. What is our circumstances? What is it that we are going through? Is it something positive? Is it something not so positive? How are we allowing that situation or that circumstance to change us? You know, we sometimes pretend like, again, we have to have that defense mechanism because we are avoiding, and I'm speaking for myself, we're avoiding our situation because we don't want to be in that situation. So let me put up a front, let me put up a face, let me put up a character to numb my feelings of what I am feeling in that situation. But that's no way to live. And it wasn't until I realized that that was no way to live that I decided, because it is a choice, that I needed to change that. And we definitely can change it. Overnight, right away? Absolutely not. But over time, we can definitely change that. But what are we changing it with? What are we around? What are we surrounding ourselves with? Who are we surrounding ourselves with? What is filling our cup in an overflow that can determine or define what we are going to switch all those feelings with? So again, we don't realize everything that we've been through allows us to carry it all. And maybe we can't change the circumstances, but we can definitely change in it. And hey, happiness is based on what's happening, right? Happiness is based on what's happening. So if it's not happening, then I'm not happy. So if I don't have $1 million, I'm not happy. If I don't have a new vehicle, a new 2021 vehicle, then I'm not happy, because we are focusing our happiness on what's happening, on what we have, on the materialistic things. And to me, I'm a huge believer that none of that brings happiness. None of that brings happiness. My routine, my day-to-day, my coming on the radio with you guys on Thursdays, our Latino Monday on Mondays, you know, the little things, doing what I love to do, having the opportunity to have my own business, doing what I love to do and that I know is needed. That's what brings me happiness. And it doesn't take somebody else to complete your happiness. It doesn't take another person to complete your happiness. If you can't be happy as a whole on your own, nobody else can do it for you. They can add to your happiness, they can take away from your happiness, but they can't be happy for you altogether. They can't be altogether happy for you. That's something that's very important, and I had to throw in there. So that's a little bit of everything that I learned over the past couple days. And again, happiness is based on what's happening. So it's a decision. And I wrote something down and I put suggestion next to it, because you have to live, right? We live, and we have to think with purpose. We have to think with purpose, on purpose, like I always say as well. Many of us fight change when purpose is a constant change. Living on purpose, living in purpose, walking in your purpose is a constant change. Like for me, I know my purpose is being an advocate, providing services, and being a voice for people with disabilities. That is my purpose. That's always been my purpose, even when I did not know it was my purpose. How I do that, though, constantly changes. How I do that constantly changes based on who I'm serving, where I'm serving them, based on the community, based on what is acceptable, based on what the resources and information are. So it's always changing. The how is always changing. The what and what my purpose is not. And so what is our purpose? Are we living with purpose? And is the purpose we are living, is our purpose bringing us joy? I know if I do nothing else, and this is what I do, and I work with my students and providing services to individuals with disabilities, focusing on inclusion and diversity, coming to church, I'm good. Like, genuinely and honestly, that is purpose. So what is our purpose, and are we living with the purpose? Is it bringing you happiness? And if it's not bringing you happiness, that's a problem. We gotta check it out, why it's not bringing you happiness, and change it. Know that you can change it. You have a decision. You have it in your hands. You have the power in your hands. You can definitely change it. So also, we always talk about joy, right? We always talk about joy. We talked about living and thinking and purpose and happiness and what the happiness is based on. But joy and pain. Joy has to do with my faith, right? So joy has to do with my faith internally, because it's based on where I'm going and not where I am. So joy has to do with my faith internally, because it's based on where I am going and not where I am. If we focus on where I am now, am I in a place in my life where I want to be? Am I in a place in my profession where I want to be? Am I in a place in my personal life where I want to be? If you sit there and you think about that stuff, you might not find joy. You might not find joy. But if you know that you're in this place, you're in this spot for a purpose, for a reason, and you're working at it, and it's part of the process, you grow through what you grow through, and you keep in mind what you want your final destination to be, where you want to be, then you will do what you can to accomplish that with joy. Because everything that we go through, everywhere that we are placed, everybody that we meet, we do so with a purpose. We do so with a purpose. You don't meet anybody by accident. There was a reason that I went to South Carolina on vacation. There was a reason I experienced different things and saw different things, because it's all a part of where I'm going. It's all a part of where I'm going, and vice versa. So that is very, very important. And then also too, that we want change, but we don't want to change. We want change, but we don't want to change. So there's joy in the pain, there's joy in the situations, there's joy in our faith internally, externally. There's the joy, but we want change, yet we don't want to change. And so one goes hand in hand, right? I want joy, I want change, but if I didn't take the time or put myself in a situation where I had to learn that I had to change in order to have joy in that situation, then I wasn't going to get anywhere. So sometimes we do have to change ourselves in order to have joy. In order to experience change, we have to change. And that is the hardest thing to swallow, because we don't want to be told where we are weak, what we have to change. We don't want to hear that. We just, it's how I am and that's it. Absolutely not. We have to change. We want joy. We want to do better. Once we know better, we have to change. And something I love is that there's a saying that says that our greatest ministry will come from our greatest misery. Everything that we go through is for a reason. our greatest ministry will come from our greatest misery. And when I think about that, though, it's not, to me, it's not literally like I'm miserable, but it's whatever situation we're not comfortable with, whatever situation we want to change, that is the very situation that will come. That is the very situation from which your ministry will come. And yet, the Lord says to us that we can have joy because I have overcome it. Everything that we go through, everything that we have gone through, everything that we will go through, the Lord has already overcome it. And so his word says that we can have joy because he has overcome it. And yet as humans, we tend to stay in that situation. We shouldn't use our situation to tear us down. That's not what they're meant for. We have to use it to build us up. Use the hardship to do what we're meant to do. I have a disability. I'm not going to use it to tear me down. I'm going to use it to build myself up and build up those around me. So don't use your situation to tear you down. Use it to build you up. Use the hardship to do what you're meant to do. What are you doing today for a better tomorrow? We sit there so long and, shoulda, coulda, woulda. Should have, could have, would have. But what are you doing today for a better tomorrow? What are you doing today to get you closer to your goal? Do you have faith in the hard times to get to the good times? Oof. Do you have faith in the hard times to get to the good times? I recently, very, very recently, went through a transition, and you think, is it going to be okay? Am I going to make it? All these questions come into your mind. But yeah, if you have faith in the hard times, you will get through the good times. And those hard times are sometimes there to push us, because if it's not there to push us, then we won't make the initiative to move forward and do what it is that we have to do and walk into the purpose that we are supposed to. And that's sometimes difficult to accept as well. Unless we're pushed, we're not going to make it happen on our own. So God has to push us out. He has to push us out of our current situation to push us into our purpose. On purpose. Push us to our purpose on purpose. So do you have faith in the hard times to get to the good times? And as entrepreneurs, we have hardships. We lack funding. We don't have employees, or we have overhead, or we don't have enough clients. We have so many obstacles as entrepreneurs. And, if you can trust in the hard times, then God can trust you in the good. So he's going to trust me to do the work that I have to do and reach my clients and reach providers and services and do the connect and do everything that I have to do by faith in order to provide for me everything that I need in order for my business to be successful. But I have to do the work. We definitely have to do the work. We gotta talk the talk, right? We definitely gotta do the work and use the resources, the community, and that which we surround ourselves with to get to the next level of our purpose and what it is that we are working on. And if God can trust you in the hard times, he can trust you in the good. Where do you go? Who do you talk to in hard times? How do you get from point A to point B? How do you cross the line of, I can't do this anymore, to, okay, it's going to be okay? Are you a winner? Or do you sit there and lament and say, poor me, poor Jesse? No. I was telling somebody a few minutes ago, a little bit earlier, I just got back from out of town yesterday. I got back, I had clients today, and that's how God works. One door closes in our mind, because it's not that one door is closing, it's time for new things and new opportunities, and God will provide. As long as we are willing, as long as we are open, as long as we receive it with open arms, and as long as we are not living in fear. I think that is everything, is as long as we are not living in fear. So who do you go? Where do you go? Where do you go? Who do you talk to in hard times? Who's your support system? I know you guys hear that a lot from me. Who's your support system? Who's cheering you on? Because trust me, you know, we have those cheering us on like, yes, you got this. You can do this. You know your work. You're one of the best. So you live it literally every single day, you know? And so then you have others like, you're not going to have an hourly paycheck, or, you know, you need to get a government job. You're overqualified, or, you know, it's been too long. You know, you get all the negatives. And so we have to have that strong will to be like, no, I'm gonna do this. First for me, and second for those that I'm serving and those that need me, because if I don't do it, nobody else will. Okay. I say that because we each have something unique. I always say we all have something unique. So you can have two service providers, two people that do the same thing, yet we serve a different group of people, and we have different skills, talents, and abilities to reach a different group of people. So that's the deal, you know. That's the deal. So are you a winner, or are you lamenting your situation? And remember, somebody's always watching. Somebody is always watching, and somebody's always not giving up because you are not giving up. Someone's not giving up because you are not giving up. So be a winner. Don't feel sorry for yourself. Be a winner. Because your efforts will never be in vain. You know, you can't allow your circumstances to determine your efforts. I like that too. Somebody's always watching. Yes. Efforts will never be in vain. Don't allow your circumstances to determine your efforts. I helped someone this morning with something that she needed, and she said, I will do whatever you tell me because I trust you. I know you know what you're doing. I've known you for a long time. Literally, that's what she said. I trust you, and I wouldn't do this with anybody else. And then she called me later on that she needed help with another service. And I said, sure, that's more business for me, but I built that. I earned that by earning her trust and her daughter's trust, because I do know what I'm doing. But that's what happens. You know, you gotta, you know, your efforts will never be in vain, and we cannot allow our circumstances to determine our efforts. Eric, I know. We'll talk later. Cálmate. You can, so the next one, you can get a well done from the Lord, even through difficult times, even through the difficulties. Now that's what we are looking for, right? A well done at the end of our walk of life, because we did everything that we can do to live in our purpose. There's another quote, you know, do all you can do, but make sure that all you can do is all you can do. So are we doing all that we can do to live a life with purpose? And if you think much bigger than where you are, then where you are can no longer hold you captive. If you think much bigger than where you are, then where you are can no longer hold you captive. There's more for Jesse than where I am in my life. And so I see it. It's a very amazing thing when you can close your eyes and see where you know God wants you to be. It's amazing to see where you're going to be, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years from now, because you know your purpose is bigger than you. It's bigger than you. It's bigger than the person next to you. It's bigger than your family. It's bigger than anybody that has told you no and doesn't understand. It's bigger. And so that's what I'm looking forward to. A well done, knowing that my purpose is much bigger than where I am right now, than where you are right now, and then where you can no longer hold yourself captive. It's just no way you can do that. But so how do we do this though? You know, yes, it's great and we're talking, but how do we do this? What is it that we have to keep in mind in order to continue and keep going, right? I think that is very, very important. So very quickly, know that you're not alone. Don't do life alone, because you're not alone. You have community. Rest. Prioritize rest and learn how to say no. I know for me, for a long time, I thought saying no would hold me back. Saying no sometimes can actually push you forward and advance you in a way that we don't understand. And so when you start learning to prioritize, to rest, and to say no, and then the world will have the best of you. versus the exhausted you. They will definitely have the best of you. Who are you discipling? And all this, guys, all of this goes hand in hand. All of this ties together. Who are you discipling? Are you discipling the world or those closest to you? That was a big one for me. Are you helping the world? Somebody told me the other day, stop being Mother Teresa because I help so many people. And what they meant was that I have to learn to help myself before I can help other people. And it's the same concept. Who are you discipling? The world or those closest to you? When we ask ourselves, why you? Why me? Because it's what God has for you. And I learned that. Why me? Because that is what God has for me. And I went through experiences that taught me that on this vacation. That's why. Because I'm necessary. I'm needed. Somebody needs me. Somebody's not giving up because I'm not giving up. That's why me. Your passions, your talents, your abilities, your expressions, opportunities, all of that brings you to your purpose. Don't ignore your passions, your abilities, your expressions, and the opportunities that come with it, because that leads you to your purpose. And what we constantly think about, we become. What we constantly think about, we become. And when you work hard and you show up where you are planted, opportunities will come. Suddenly, as in my situation, you're getting paid for doing what you love to do. Suddenly, you're getting paid for all the certifications that you've been taking over the years. Suddenly, you're providing services and getting paid for the community that you have developed for yourself. And that is an awesome feeling. And that's what happens when you work hard. So, very important what you think of yourself. Very important to work hard in your purpose, on purpose, with joy. Find joy in everything that you're going through, in every situation. And know that every little thing will be all right. Every little thing will be all right. And if you want change, you have to be willing to change. And you have to be willing to grow in the change. You want change, be willing to change and grow in that change. And life all of a sudden gets a lot better. Life all of a sudden gets a lot better when we realize those things. I see everybody joining. Thank you for joining and being with me this evening. Time has run out. Time flies when you're having fun. Time flies when you're having fun. Are you a winner? Yes, that is a question that we are going to live with and leave with. Are you a winner? As the song says, call me a winner, right? Call me a winner. Good evening, Minister Henry, Pastor Henry. Good evening. Thank you. Looking good. Thank you. I got a little tan. Good night. Good evening, Brother Dwayne, Minister Brown, Eric. I see you. Hi, Eric. God wants me. Listen, Linda. Listen. We'll talk later. And thank you guys for joining. And I hope that you got something out of tonight. And don't give up. You know, if nothing else, know that you should never, ever give up, because God is always on time and there's always a purpose. There is always a purpose for as long as that we are alive. And so I want to encourage you guys to support your favorite station. Support. We can't do it without you. We don't want to do it without you. And know that we will be here again tomorrow, mañana, for Fun Friday with Pastor Henry and Pastor Stephen at 8 a.m. Don't miss it. Don't miss it. I will see you guys on Monday again for your Latino Monday, which is a lot of fun. You guys saw us doing Latino Monday all the way from my vacation. That was very interesting. And so, hey, when you love what you do, that's what you do. You do all you gotta do to make it happen. Please support your favorite station. You guys know how the different ways to give. Cash App, $, New Season WC. Zelle 954-536-1821, or right on the website, newseasonfm.com. newseasonfm.com. Until then, I will see you guys bright and early on Monday morning. I am going to leave you with one of my favorite songs ever, to say see you later. To say see you later. And we always play this song on Latino Monday. So you guys know the song. Let's do it. See you guys on Monday. See you guys on Monday. Don't forget to support your favorite station and keep us running on the air. Here we go.
There's a name that can silence every fear. There's a love that embraces the heartache, the pain, and the tears. Through my faith and my doubting, I know one thing for sure. His word is unfailing, His promise secure. Todo va a estar bien, everything will be alright. Whole world's in His hands, your whole world's in His hands. In the darkness, in the trials, He's faithful and He is true. The whole world's in His hands, y todo va a estar bien. Oh, 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 everything will be alright. Oh, oh, oh.
Yeah. Father, you say everything's gonna be alright, but my circumstances say I won't last through the night. I need your word to hold me now, need you to pull me through. I need a miracle, a breakthrough, I need you. They say you hold the whole universe in your hand, but my world's falling apart like it is made of sand. Am I small enough to slip through the cracks? Can you take my broken pieces and put them back? Give me faith, you believe you are on my side. Open my eyes to see you working in my life. Let the past remind me you never fail, and tell my soul it is well. Oh, y todo va a estar bien, everything will be alright. The whole world's in His hands, your whole world's in His hands. In the darkness, in the trials, He's faithful and He's true. Your whole world's in His hands, y todo va a estar bien. Everything, oh, oh, everything will be alright. Oh, 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 hey. Todo va a estar bien. Oh, 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 and I know everything will be alright. Oh, 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 yeah.
Padre, te confieso a corazón abierto que todo es muy incierto en este desierto. Mi vulnerabilidad está al descubierto. Siento que mi barca está muy lejos de su puerto. ¿Por qué será que ya no sale el sol en mis días? ¿Por qué mis noches son tan frías? ¿Por qué será que siento que me falta algo? ¿Por qué este camino gris se siente tan largo? Sé que estás sobrando aunque no te sienta. Sé que estás sobrando aunque no te vea. Sé que voy a salir de esta odisea. Sé que voy a ganar esta pelea. Sé que va a cesar esta marea temporaria, que en ti yo viviré una vida extraordinaria. Y aunque no pueda entender, me consuela saber que
todo, yo sé que todo va a estar bien.
Todo va a estar bien.
Everything will be alright.
Everything will be alright. So with that, guys, until next week, have a great rest of your day.